We need to prioritize workload. If something comes in, there has to be an importance meter on the things that need to get done now and the things that can wait. Because some stuff cannot wait and other things can.
If we're all on the same page with our vision and our values at that agency, there is no reason why somebody wouldn't raise their hand to help me.
Hi, ATP friends, family, everybody out there watching our blog banter. Today, I have the pleasure of doing a podcast with the famous Bobby Fernandez from ATP, our coach, our consultant, our performance partner that makes agencies ridiculously amazing. We are going to talk today, and I'm Therese if you don't know who I am. We're going to talk today about how to abolish insurance agency backlog. I think I put a little extra on the abolish. How many people out there remember those days when you would go into work and your coworker had the stacks and stacks and stacks of paper on their desk? And you knew
All the policies that needed. Yeah.
gosh, you knew automatically, oh my gosh, look at all that work they've got to get done. And, oh, what are we going to do? And are they going to get it done? And then you see them work through the stack and you can tell how much work. And then I'll get back up here again. Gets up there Mondays like this. And then Friday kind of gets Monday. Today's day and age, people can hide it because it's not in paper anymore. Hopefully, everybody's tech savvy and it's now in the computer. So since it is in the computer, they can hide it a little bit better, but we still have systems out there that show overdue activities or overdue tasks. So we want to kind of get into, first of all, what causes insurance agency backlog. And we know that insurance agency backlog is basically overdue tasks, whether it be changes in the system, changing cars out, which we hope we don't have those backlog because people could get into an accident. Claims information, claims items, changes, things that come through the system that need to be taken care of. It can be caused by so many different things, like higher volumes of work that just comes in, whether you have control over it or not. Some of it could come through a website. But we have staff shortages, maybe on Mondays, especially on Mondays. People are sick. They ate something over the weekend and their stomach's sick.
Or we're off with our kids, out having a great time. But guess what doesn't stop at the office?
Yeah, the work, the backlog. So sometimes we may have inefficient processes. So we don't have actual processes that we use to make sure that backlog gets taken care of. And APP can help you with that. I mean, one of the huge things that can cause insurance agency backlog is payments, too many payments. How many agencies do we have that people walk in to make payments and then that payment takes 10 minutes? Because you're talking to the client, you're kind of building some rapport, you're getting their card information or taking the cash, printing out the receipts, going to the carrier if you do have to do that to make the payment. So those can actually cause backlog. And here at APP, we have a ton of different ideas and stuff we can help with converting people to EFT or paid in full. So that's something you should look into. Our blog will have a link to that information for you to go to. The other thing it can have is technical issues. Computer systems, you have to have good technology, especially this day and age, your internet speeds, your computers, the RAM that your computers have to be going to all these carriers and the management system. And of course, there are also external factors. Bobby, what external factors could you think of that are outside the agency's control that can cause agency backlog?
Well, I mean, I think there's a variety of things, right? A lot of times it's walk-in traffic or call-in when we're not being proactive necessarily. We're working in a reactive way. We're getting a lot of phone calls and then it's backlogging us in work. The other things could be, maybe a claim happened over the weekend that we had no control over.
Or a natural disaster.
Yeah. And now our Monday looks like, right? We had no idea.
We had people out. Everybody stayed home. There's all these natural disasters happening. We've got all these people calling in for claims, and it just is going to make that backlog get worse and worse. So let's talk about some of the side effects to insurance agency backlog. What does it cause? It can cause delays in processing, especially processing claims, which we don't want that to happen, because if we delay that process for claims, then it delays the carrier, it delays the client, and then things can't be repaired as quick as we would like them to. And we want to make sure that we show the clients excellent service, and that would not be good.
Really hurts our experience with our customer, because our customer really relates their claim to us, right? Even though we're not the carrier, they're still going to say, Therese, you denied my claim when my claim came up, or I didn't get my payment in time, because they're relating that to you. So even when it comes to claims, we still have to stay on top of that service and make sure that our customer is receiving exactly what they need when they need it by.
Yep, it'll cause customer dissatisfaction. It also causes an increase in workload. So if you're not getting stuff done and somebody calls in about that same thing, then I've got to go try to work on that. And it puts my work into a backlog. There's also a huge thing that agencies and agency owners don't even realize. Not having these processes in place causes higher operational costs, because you're going to need to bring in more staff. You've got unhappy customers. The agency may need to pay overtime, just to clear the backlog. And the last one, there's compliance issues. So if you're with the state and you have the state come in to audit, and it causes some compliance issues because you're not getting things done like you're supposed to. You have to be really careful of stuff like that. Now, how do we abolish it? What are our processes or steps, or what do we recommend that agencies do to abolish the insurance agency backlog? Bobby, what's one of those?
Well, I would say, we need to be automating our processes. Anytime we can be automating our processes, a lot of agencies that we walk into, they are not utilizing their agency management system, which is one of their largest investments for their agency, to the best of its ability. And a lot of agency management systems, and if you have, additional items that go with your tech stack, and how those things can all work together to help to automate that process. So I just have to push a button once, and then, maybe some further action happens that continues to follow up, that can now take that off my servicing person's plate or my producer's plate. And so I think we're not utilizing the full functions of the technology that we have at our fingertips a lot of times.
We need to prioritize workload. If something comes in, there has to be an importance meter on the things that need to get done now and the things that can wait, because some stuff cannot wait and other things can.
Therese, that's such a great point too, because I think a lot of servicing staff thinks that they're prioritizing properly and how their leaders would want them to prioritize, but maybe it just hasn't been clearly communicated out to the staff how they should be prioritizing things. Do we need to be working on our new business before we're working on a rewrite?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Quotes definitely need to take a priority. That is huge, because the farther away from when that client requests that quote, the lower the likelihood is that you're actually going to write it. So that kind of leads us into our next one, which is improved communication. You need to make sure that you're communicating with your staff, and use the raise your hand channel when somebody is backlogged, when your activities aren't getting done quick enough and you need some help. You need to, raising your hand, it may seem like something that nobody wants to do because you don't want to admit that you're in backlog, but it's definitely something we need to do as an agency to communicate to each other, to make sure that we're helping each other where we can. And I know we try to do that a lot at APP, but it's hard because we think, oh my goodness, I can get these tasks done in 10 minutes. And then we start working on them and it takes 20 minutes and then 30 minutes and then 40 minutes. And then we realize, wow, this takes a lot longer than I thought it was gonna. I need help.
And other things come in on top of that, and you just get more overwhelmed. And then it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And we want people to understand that there needs to be a safe space to be able to raise my hand, and that it's really not considered a failure. It's really a success, because now I'm saying, hey, my client comes first, right? I need help here, and I need help servicing my client to the best of my ability. And if we're all on the same page with our vision and our values, at that agency, there is no reason why somebody wouldn't raise their hand to help me.
Right.
And so,
right.
but I have to open up and say, I need the help.
Definitely. And then we have outsourcing services. So a lot of companies are now using third parties. Now, there are carriers that do charge different agencies to do service work. So if there's a carrier charging you, you should outsource some of those tasks to the carrier so the carrier can do those for you. And of course, then we all have like the VAs, the virtual systems or virtual employees. So outsourcing services, sometimes you can have an intern during the summer months. They can do some little tasks. At the agency I worked at, we had some interns occasionally, and we would shoot stuff over to them, the little tasks that don't need to be licensed that can get done. And increasing staffing, of course, having more staff is always an option. But you want to make sure that those efficient processes and procedures are there before you start hiring people, because it may just be that your processes and procedures aren't working properly, and you just need those in place before you start hiring.
If you don't have your processes and procedures in place, I talked to several agencies at a conference I was at about, having not enough staff, or they feel that they don't have enough staff. But then if we don't make the move in the right way and clean it up first, you can get a really great account manager to come in. And when they realize that it's a mess, guess what? They don't want to have to deal with that, right? They're going to go to some other agency down the street who's going to pay them more to work in a messy environment.
For sure.
So make sure that our environment is nice and neat and clean, and that everybody knows what is expected of them.
And then you also have, your staff that push back. We have seasoned staff. Sometimes we just have staff that have been there a couple years, and you have to really work on how you relate it to the staff. You have to make sure that it's a positive process, and you have to communicate the reason for the change. You can't just come in and say, hey, we're doing this, we're changing this, and this is how it's going to be. You want to make sure that you explain to them the reason for the change. And then when they come to you with, hey, why are we doing this? You want to address those concerns with the staff, and not just kind of, because I said so. You can't do that parent thing where, why am I have to do that? Because I said so. You don't want to do that. You want to do what APP does all our entire lives. That is provide what, Bobby? What do we provide? Training.
Train your staff. I don't have time to train my staff, Therese.
Oh my goodness. Well, if you don't have time to train your staff, then nothing's going to get better. I think in the insurance industry, we just let people get licenses. They come in, we sit them next to somebody that writes insurance or that services insurance, and we just expect them to figure it out. I mean,
insurance knowledge by osmosis, right?
Well, and I did that. I actually sat in a room with two other agents, and I'd answer the phone. And if I didn't know something, I would pass it to them. Luckily, I was a good listener, and I would listen to everything they said. And I was a sponge, and I didn't have training until actually Kelly came into one of the agencies I worked for. At the end of being in that agency, that's when we first had training. And I was like, wow, this is really important that insurance agencies have the training they need, because sometimes the agencies can't do that. It's kind of like you live with your parents, and you know how kids are with their parents. Their teachers know more than the parents do, right? Same thing in the insurance agencies. Their managers or whatever don't know what they're talking about. But when a third party comes in and trains, oh my goodness, they're like, oh yeah, Kelly, APP, Bobby, Therese, they know what they're talking about. So sometimes you need that third party to come in and provide that training, which is what we do. And we're happy to do intro meetings. If you guys want to book a meeting, just go on our website and click contact us, and we'll do an intro meeting and see how we can help your agency. But we want to make sure that we involve staff in the change process, that we communicate regularly, and we celebrate successes. How important is the celebration, Bobby?
It's so important. Even the small things, right? We have so many challenges that are coming at us every single day. And sometimes it's the small things that kind of pile up over time, just like backlog, right? The minute that we can take those things off and start celebrating those things, the chemicals in our brain, they release and they go, woo, look, I got to tick that box. I did that thing. And it really helps your staff to feel better about what they're doing, what they're accomplishing each day.
For sure, for sure. So I'm going to say 2 more. Basically, highlight the benefits of the change, highlight what it's going to do for them, highlight how it's going to be better for them, and lead by example. If you are not leading by example, then we all have a problem, because if you're not excited about it and you're not showing that this change is going to benefit the agency, then it's not going to work, because nobody else is going to be excited about it. So you kind of have to motivate your staff. You have to make these changes, implement these processes and procedures to help basically abolish all this backlog. And we got to work with it, work through them, see what the tasks are that are holding people back and that are causing it. So find a solution. So hopefully our blog banter about abolishing backlog has been helpful to all of our people out there on our YouTube channel. And thank you we actually got 1,000 people to follow us on our YouTube channel. So we are very thankful for that. We love that everybody's watching our videos. If you guys need us, you can find us at agencyperformancepartners.com and check out our blogs, our 3-minute videos, and our podcasts. Thanks, Bobby. I appreciate it.
Therese, everybody
have a good day, everybody.